Because when they get to the Jordan River, the water's still there. But I'll get there. I'll get there next Sunday. Verse 10, here's the last thing, the last verse. It says, Joshua told them, by this you shall know that among you the living God, who without fail will drive out the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Hivites, the Perizzites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, and the Jebusites. In order to prove something will not fail, it has to be tested. Come on, teachers, we rounding the end of the year. Y'all just got done with EOGs. To prove something cannot fail, fail is test language, which would mean if it cannot fail, that means it has to be tested. And if God is saying, you're going to see I don't fail, that means somebody had to test him. So he calls the roll, the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Hivites, the Perizzites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Jebusites. It reminded me, God gives his resume. Y'all know what a resume is? In my neighborhood in Charlotte, North Carolina, there was a lot of fighting going on. That's just the way it was in my neighborhood. It was a fighting neighborhood. Shout out to everybody who's watching. You know I'm telling the truth. It's a fighting neighborhood. And what would often happen is prior to the fight, somebody would often ask, hey, who they been in a fight with before me? I want to know who did they fight and what was the outcome? Because based on the resume, that might be somebody I don't need to mess with. You learn quickly in the neighborhood to check somebody's background before you get into an issue or a fight with somebody that you shouldn't have been fighting because you did not check their resume. Lean in, child of God. This is why before they cross the Jordan River, God gives his resume. Because some of us aren't setting our expectation. And some of us aren't walking by faith in preparation because we don't have hopes because we forgot to check God's resume. And sometimes the reason we don't have hope is because we don't want to get our hope too high because we worry God's going to let us down. Y'all don't want to be honest in here. Sometimes we don't want to hope against hope, dream against dream, have vision when there should be none because we don't want to put ourselves out there and God let us down. No, y'all don't want to be honest. But this moment for the children of God is a moment of their life that reflects what I call they're going to need some show enough faith. Y'all don't know what show enough faith is. Y'all never watched The Last Dragon, that movie from the 80s. Y'all never watched The Last Dragon when Bruce Leroy's arch nemesis walks into the movie theater before he tell anybody to kiss his Converse. I wish I had a witness in here somewhere. Y'all be looking at me like y'all don't know what I'm talking about. He needs to get a witness. And the way he get a witness, he says, am I the baddest? And everybody that has already experienced him say, sure enough. He said, am I the meanest? And they say, sure enough. And because they have seen enough of what he's already done, that they got a sure enough faith. My brother and sister, there will be a multitude of times in your life where it will be easy to doubt that God is able. It will be easy to doubt that God can do it, and it will kill your ability to have hope when you really need it. But you got to have some show enough faith. You got to have some Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego faith. Come on, I'm going to call the roll right here. See, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego said, even if God doesn't make a way, I will trust in him. You got to have that Esther faith. Esther said, if I perish, I perish. But I'm going to do what God told me to do. You got to have that Job faith. Job said, though he slay me, yet will I trust him. See, people who don't know God may not understand your faith. But if you've been walking with God for a while, all of us are going to have to reach a Jordan River experience where it does not look like God can do it. It does not look like God can make a way. You don't know how it's going to be done, but you believe that somehow, some way. People don't understand it. People think you lost your mind. People think you've gone crazy. But like Kendrick Lamar said, they ain't like us. We believe like Grandmama said, that you can't make me doubt him. I know too much. I thought I'd get a witness right along in here. Because remember I said, God gave his resume, right? God gave his resume when he said the Canaanites. God gave his resume when he said the Hittites and the Hivites and the Perizzites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Jebusites. But did you know there's something called updating your resume? And I came to tell somebody today that I serve a God that's still updating his resume. How do you know, Stackhouse? Because I am a living testimony that God will make a way. I am a living testimony that I've gone through the fight. I've been through the flood. But I got a testimony that even if he had to reach way down, God will. God will. God will pick you back up again. How do you know, Stackhouse? How do you know? Because the God I serve, has been mighty, 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 mighty good to me. Because the Lord will be a bridge over troubled water. And the Lord will make a way out of no way. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. Yeah. Everybody stand to your feet. Yeah, he's still updating his resume. My name is on that resume. He got victories for me. Your name is on that resume. He's got victories for you. And the same God that had power then shows up and still has power now.